Internet, what's up? Austin, designer, illustrator, creator, all that good stuff we talked about in the last video. Today, I'm going to do something a little fun. I'm painting a skateboard. If you don't know anything about my brand Grimwire, it started out, and it's kind of still, as a fine art brand. I hand paint skateboards. I have like a process that's different than most people that I've seen, and I use broken skateboards that have gotten donated over time. Yeah, so I'm going to paint a skateboard today for someone on YouTube named Dale Decker. He's a skateboarder, so it makes sense. And I'm going to show you my process, how I go from start to finish. This is strictly for the skateboard. The illustration that I did that's going to go on the skateboard that I'm going to paint is already done. So I already did the illustration, I'm just transferring it onto the skateboard, but I'm still going to be doing my normal process to get there. Another day, I'll show my process of making an actual illustration, but for now, this is what you're going to get. So let's go into it right now and I'll explain everything. So I'm doing this on the floor of my apartment because I live in essentially a studio. Bear with me, hello foot. So what I'm first doing, I've already put the first coat on the skateboard, you can't really tell. It's got like a matte medium on it that I use just for texture, but the first real thing I'm doing is adding this white, if I can focus. This is a chalk white distressing paint, so what it means is that you can paint it on the skateboard and then sand it off a little bit to give it a texture and some character. So this is the first thing I use. The brand doesn't really matter. This is Waverly. I used to use something from Walmart. It's just, it really doesn't matter for me. So I use these little sponge tip brushes that are like $1 on Amazon for a pack of whatever. I don't know. They're not that expensive. You can get them at Michael's or whatever craft store too. So I haven't opened this canister in forever. It's kind of gross looking. But I really just glob it on there. I just like to slather it all over the place. I'm trying to be careful so I don't get anything in my carpet, because that would be bad and frustrating. But I try to go heavier in the center, and when it comes down to the bottom down here, I'm going to kind of let it fade out. I'm not going to go over all this broken texture just because I think that adds a little bit of character to it, and covering it up isn't great. So when it gets down to these shreds of graphic, I kind of let it taper out. I like to add some character wherever I can, because I think a lot of art right now in our current climate is stale. So I'm going to try to fix that. So the next step is oh shit. So the next step is putting the image, the painting, this one right here, this guy, on the board in lead so that we can paint it. So to get this done, I'm going to use that graphite paper that I mentioned earlier, once I have it, and a printout that I printed out of the image. So one thing is I want to be careful of these two holes here, because this is what we're going to use to frame it. So I'm going to place the image right about here. It's nice because it's kind of centered. The board is 8.5 inches wide, so is the paper. So this is how we do it. The lines are pretty vague, just outlining, showing what I'm going to be doing. I accidentally moved it on the right hand, right where his hand is right here, so I didn't get to trace the dripping that I want to do, but that's fine. I'll just reference that when I paint it. So right now I'm only doing the pink, and then I'll go back and do this again for the purple and the blue. Alright, so for this next bit, I'm going to be just laying down the pink gouache. That's the gouache I'm going to be using. I have to try to figure out how to get a color close enough to what I want in this bad boy right here. So I'm going to time-lapse this of me painting, and hopefully it goes well. so now that the pink's on there, I'm going to go in for the blue here. And I'm not going to trace this with graphite paper because there's very little amount and it won't be that hard to figure out where to go from here. And there it is, the finished product. I added the purple in and added a little tag right here for Slammin', his company. That's it. I'm gonna slap a bit of clear coat on here, just a glossy clear coat. And oh god, it's not in focus. I'm gonna slap some glossy clear coat on here, and hopefully figure out a way to ship it over to him. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me do this, and yeah, I know I've worn 3 outfits in this video. This video took me about a week to do for various reasons. The painting was all just done just now, within the last hour, but you know, life happens, so. But I hope you enjoyed everything you've seen, and I'll be back another few days from now with another video. I've got a couple ideas. We're going to see where it goes. But you know, hopefully I can get this over to Dale. He doesn't have a P.O. box in his descriptions anymore. He used to. So I'm going to try to hit him up and see what happens. But until then, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Wade Visual Grimwire Co. And check out all the stuff I do there. And if you feel so inclined to purchase something, Grimwire.com or Grimwire.co is always open. So, yeah. I don't know how to close a video. It's weird. It's super uncomfortable.